We believed that our kids shouldn't do sleepovers, and sleepovers would only lead to bad things.
And then when you say stop, then I will pause it, and then I will watch some more.
No, not right now. His negotiation skills are getting better.
It's Friday today, which means I go out to lunch with my parents.
To Sunday.
What? There's nothing in there?
No, I think they need to give me another one.
Future.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's terrible. Here,
I know.
you can have mine.
What is it? Great minds must be ready not only to take opportunities, but to make them. Make opportunities. Oh well.
Now's the point that you've all been waiting for. This is where we play the credit card game to see who pays for lunch.
Your mind don't play game.
All right, Mom, one card is over here and one card is over here. Which one's paying?
Left side. What?
My left or your left?
This side.
Are you sure?
Should I change?
I'm giving you a chance.
Don't trust him, dear. Don't trust him.
Oh, I got lucky. I accidentally did it on that one. Look. Thanks for lunch.
That's okay.
There you go. Hey, lucky for you. Look, I brought a coupon for you though. Oh, actually I'm all out of coupons. These are just dinner. There you go. Thanks for lunch. What?
Filia and I are doing a reading lesson right now. We've just been doing half of a lesson, I would say a couple times a week maybe. And then she gets a prize after she does half of a lesson. It's either usually candy, more often it's an episode of her favorite show.
So I thought we weren't doing bribes.
Well, she came to me and said, hey, I want to start doing my reading lessons again. And I said, okay. And then after a few, she kind of like petered out. Somehow it evolved into she gets something after she does her lesson.
Filia, do you know whose idea it was to give you a prize?
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe it was mine.
I don't really remember.
Do you still want to learn how to read?
Yeah.
So these words are called the title of the story. The title tells what the story's about. Yeah, I think. Okay. I'll read the title. Lots of pots. What's the story about?
Lots of pots.
Okay, you are going to read the story. Point to each word. Sound.
It is so hot out here. You want to do mail time first? Someone sent us a package to Crawford family.
Unwrap your present before opening that envelope. Okay.
Unwrap present before opening envelope. There's like directions. There's a little envelope here though that says, "Hey Crawford family, thought of you guys and Dove with her new Safety Second Instagram endeavors when I saw this. Hashtag Safety Second. You got this, Dove. From the Machowski family."
Huh.
All right.
That's cool. Should Dove be opening this?
Maybe.
Look at this. Oh, it's a dish towel.
It says, "Do one thing every day that scares your family." And it shows a lady
That is
wrestling an
so
alligator.
great.
A dish towel.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, now we're allowed to read this?
Gift for you.
Oh yeah, gift receipts. That's cool.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
the
thank you.
Chofsky family.
Okay, little honey. It's
Hey, you want to get in on this?
no, I'll do my own.
Come on, come on, come on. Hurry up, let's go. You got it. You got it. You got it. Oh! What is it, July?
It is July. July 5th.
January 1st of this year, our family started off on a pretty life-changing experiment.
Drastic change. Or it was just a symptom of everything else that was going on with us, so it did just come out of the blue.
We did away with all house rules on January 1st, 2019. For those of you that haven't been watching our family for a while, we had quite a few house rules. Like no shoes in the house, the kids couldn't watch whatever they want on the internet, they couldn't eat whatever they wanted, they had to ask us permission before they hung out with friends, or we were pretty picky about slumber parties, or you know, when we let them leave, or they had to tell us where they were going, and all these things. Because I think we thought it was our job to protect not just their physical safety, but their emotional and moral safety. And this is for teenagers, like 17, 18, 16, 14. Now we're 6 full months of living without that. So we wanted to do an update and share with you guys some of the stories that have come out from this last month especially, and just what life has been like, because it's actually been really eye-opening.
No.
This month in particular, I would say that there was a lot of sleepovers and just events that probably wouldn't have happened for sure like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Fast forward 5 years ago.
Let's rewind.
Yes. Rewind 5 years ago. It's hot. It's like,
It is very
it's like
hot.
91 degrees, but some of you will appreciate this. Feels like 101 degrees out here. Okay.
Feels like 102.
That being said, rewind 5 years ago, we believed that our kids shouldn't do sleepovers, and sleepovers would only lead to bad things, and there was no value in them. I don't know. We basically thought they were from the devil.
Okay. The cons outweighed the pros. The potential for danger.
Yeah.
Outweighed
I guess
the benefit.
maybe we thought there was still a little value, but not enough. And a lot of that came from our religious viewpoints, and yeah.
I didn't even know it was
Other
religious
group.
though. I thought it was common sense. That
Well,
like, oh, you don't let kids watch R-rated movies.
Yes, but I can see where it even stemmed from people in the religious community we looked up to.
Well, now I can see
They
that.
followed that, so we were like, we should follow that
At
too.
the time, we just thought it was good common sense parenting.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you don't see it as the religious component.
And this last month has been so different. Our kids have done so many sleepovers just naturally. We're not like encouraging it. They just want to hang out at their friend's house, or their friends want to hang out here, or they just want to like go and do things. They want to watch movies or go shopping or leave. And there's been like numerous occasions where I've just like sat there and been like, whoa, we're okay with this. And actually we are totally okay with it emotionally because of what we've been through.
Yeah.
Whereas not so long ago, I think we would have been like really worried about not so much the physical safety, because most of the kids that want to leave are the kids that we consider capable of leaving. You know, it's like our 3-year-old isn't wanting to go to the movies by himself. So it's not so much a physical safety thing, but I think we were worried, oh, they're gonna be exposed to something we can't undo, or learn about some behavior that could be dangerous or ruin them.
But I think it also, there was a lot of pressure, like to have nothing bad happen so that we would look like still good parents.
And so we would feel like it wasn't our fault if they learned some behavior and then started practicing it. And actually one of the funniest things that has started to happen, which is kind of, there's like a lot of backstory to this, but like other kids have been like sneaking out to hang out with our kids, which is just the funniest thing, because we were kind of like,
kids who come from a more religious...
Wait, don't say that. Just kidding. I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
Kids who come from a more religious background, or the parenting is pretty religiously based than now we are. So our kids, to some of these kids, are actually the bad kids. And
they're afraid of our kids.
The parents are, and they have told them not to hang out with them. Yeah, so it's kind of...
Which is kind of funny, because our kids are not doing drugs that I know of. They're not getting pregnant or getting other people pregnant. They're not out there hurting anyone. So it kind of has forced us to ask this question, like, what are they afraid of? And what, you know, to put it more personally, what were we afraid of? A little bit of context here, just to catch you guys up on the no rules thing. We're not against rules. We don't think they're bad. We used them for a lot of years, and they were really helpful for us.
And we still have like some rules for our little kids.
Well, we picked some up, yeah.
Less, definitely less, but we still have some, just because I don't know how to parent a 3-year-old without some kind of boundaries, and I do think some are good.
So we're not against the rule thing, but we felt like they started to extend a little bit too far, and we didn't know how much they were impacting our life until we started taking them away. And now we're starting to see parenting and our relationship with our teens especially from a different perspective. So we wanted to share 3 things that have been really different since we've taken away rules, especially from our teenagers. The first one is we don't feel the need to micromanage. You know, before they leave, we're not like, hey, when are you gonna be back? I mean, we might ask when they're gonna be back just as like a favor or a courtesy, but I used to feel like I need to know exactly where they're at all times, so I know like who they were hanging out with and what they were talking about and what they were not talking about and what movie they were seeing or not seeing. And it created all this pressure. In the last 6 months, I found myself enjoying our kids a lot more when I don't feel like I have to play the role of a cop or a ranger.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, you saw that movie? Cool. I've wanted to see that movie.
Yeah.
Or, did you have a good time last night? When we go out at night, that's like what I want to do, is have a good time. So if I get back, I want people to ask me, hey, did you have a good time? Not like, where'd you go?
Yeah. Who'd you hang out with?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Did they say any bad words? The second thing is, I feel like we have more energy to have deeper conversations with them and to try and understand them and to help motivate them, like from a coaching perspective on a heart level. Like I think of with you, you played guitar for the first time, you had a concert this month. And I think I had something to do with that, because I encouraged you and I believed in you and I really wanted to see that. Mm-hmm. And with our kids, we're starting to view it in the same type of way. Instead of just being like, all right, you need to follow this rule. You need to practice the piano for 2 hours a day or else, or you need to not stay up late so you can practice the piano, or you need to go to a concert, blah, blah, blah. Like we're actually looking at how can you motivate someone in other ways by letting them know you believe in them and actually encouraging them.
It's like positive motivation instead of more negative motivation.
Yeah.
I think.
And I think a lot of the stuff we were doing before, a lot of the rules anyways, I can see now. I think they gave me like a false sense of control that made me feel like, oh, if we create a rule, then our kids are living a better life. When the reality is, a lot of times they're not following the rule anyways. It just makes me feel better. It's not actually gonna have a positive impact on them, but it almost doesn't matter because I feel better.
I think that's okay to want to feel better. I think some people are at a place where that's a high value of theirs, to feel like secure in their parenting, and that's the only way they can feel that.
I think that's fine also, as long as you're admitting that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people do things and they say it's for the kids' safety, when really it's for their own peace of mind. And it's
Yeah.
confusing when you say it's for them, but it's really for you.
Or it's mixed, but it's mostly for you. But it's packaged as if it's mostly for the kids, or all for the kids.
The final thing is, I think this no rules thing has given me more of a heart and an attitude where I'm more understanding towards our teenagers. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this thing I used to say a lot to our kids, especially our younger kids, but even our older kids, and it's like, okay, you stayed up all night and then you were tired the next day, and I'm like, what were you thinking?
Or what did you learn from that?
Yeah, and when I say what were you thinking, I'm not really asking like with a question mark. I'm basically stating, you're an idiot, your values are all out of whack, you should have gone to bed earlier. I'm just phrasing it in form of a question. But now, without rules, what has happened is, with our kids staying up all night, it's forced me to just accept reality and look at them and even appreciate some of the values that are different from mine that I used to have when I was younger. You know, when I was younger, I cared a lot about just having fun and living more in the moment and connecting with people no matter what the consequences were the next day. And there's something cool about that too. I don't think it's better, but I also don't think it's worse and should be like degraded to have that less mature perspective. It's just as valuable. I don't know, I think without realizing it, I was really condescending because I wasn't listening. We were just like all about trying to create this optimal life for them based upon our current perspective.
There's a time and a place for this, but I think as parents, we seem to too quickly go to the place of, we need to look at our teenager and they need to be on our level. And they need to have our brains and our experiences of 40 years instead of 18 years. And when I think a lot of times, kids just want to be seen and heard, and they don't really want all the like, well, you should have known better kind of talk. I think there is a place for that, but it should be pretty minimal.
I don't know if I believe there's even a place for that anymore.
Well, just like how we were talking to Deb today about like the allowance stuff and all that, like.
Yeah, but that's really different than the demeaning tone that I used to have.
Yeah.
Which is like,
that's
you
true.
Should know better. I mean, there's this like should
I guess
mindset.
I'm saying like, I definitely don't think demeaning tones are like ever okay or ever in the kid's best interest. But there could be a way that you talk to your kid to try to help them mature, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
To be able to think a little more maturely than maybe they would naturally. All at the same time, like actually honoring where they're at and their mental capabilities, their emotional capabilities, their experiential capabilities. Like all of those are going to be, I don't even want to say lower, they're just different than mine will be at age 39. I'm learning how to be more sensitive to that and to just be able to really honor and actually just cheer like our kids on where they're at.
Because there was this perspective where it was like, oh, it'd be so much better if you would listen to us or just adopt our brain and skip these stages and adopt our older values.
Because that would be a lot more convenient
For us.
if you would do that.
When actually, I don't believe it's really possible to skip stages. And we got to where we were because we went through those same stages.
And those stages aren't bad.
No.
And I don't even think they should be skipped. I don't even know if that's even possible, first of all. I feel like people need to go through the different stages that
and
we
they
all
get
go
to.
through.
Like, there's a lot of cool things about those stages. Like, in a way, we're able to appreciate those moments that our kids are having that we weren't able to appreciate before because
Yeah.
we just saw like them as foolish or compromising these other values that we now have as adults, like financial responsibility or, you know, long-term planning.
Yeah. And it even helps me to appreciate my younger self too. And to kind of go back in time and say like, oh, that's what I was trying to do. Like that's okay. That's great. You know, that I was doing that.
Now, the fourth thing I just thought about, this is a bonus one, based upon what you're sharing, it made me realize also a huge change that I think we've seen happen in the last month is our kids have come to us and asked for help, which a kid asking for help, I think is going to result in a lot more listening and a lot more actual change than all the help that we're actually trying to cram down their throats when they don't want it. And us giving them space and letting them live life and experience certain consequences or actions or realities has made it so that they've come to us numerous times, numerous kids, and just asked our perspective on things. And we're able to share our perspective just as an honest perspective instead of this like morally loaded lesson that's like condescending.
Yeah.
That's like, you should have known better. It's like, oh, hey, I'm totally happy to share my perspective as a parent. This isn't about checking out as a parent. It's actually about changing strategies to get kids to learn about life better and to see us as an ally instead of to see us as a cop and almost like play this game of like, how can I get away with what I really want without my parent catching me or ripping my head off or barking at me too much.
Yeah. I think not cramming advice down their throat has given space for our kids to maybe even just crave that more. Using the food analogy, like if you're cramming, let's say, ice cream down your throat, there's like never going to be a time that you crave it if it's like constantly like just being crammed down your throat.
Because maybe in a way, especially since a lot of the rules don't pertain to safety for teenagers, a lot of the rules, it's basically like mandatory advice that you can't walk away from as a kid. So our kids were living under a bunch of mandatory like advice.
Yeah.
And then when you have mandatory advice, the last thing you want to do is actually ask for advice.
Or mandatory
It's
advice.
it's like being in school all year and then summer break happens. The day after school or summer, you're not gonna like go and f***ing learn. All you can think about is like, what can I do that's like not learning?
Totally.
All right, anything else you want to say? Yeah, really. I like you.
Thank you.
Hey, do you want to come say Shabbat with us? Or Shabbat Shalom? Okay, come on. So we are going into a rest day, which means we turn on the AC today, even though we've been kind of using it a lot this week because it's been in the 90s. It's a compromise on our marriage. But this no rules thing has been really fun. It's been a giant learning experiment for us. It was really hard to let go of these rules. I think those are the things that we use to make us feel like a good parent.
Yeah. I think oftentimes when you are so extreme in one area, in order to grow and balance yourself out, you have to swing to this other pendulum. And I think, you know, we needed to like completely rip the Band-Aid off to be able to see these things.
And that's what we do here on Fight for Together. We swing for you. So you don't have to. You can learn from us and our crazy experiments.
It's kind of like,
Oh, and you know what I'm supposed to do? Crap. I guess on Fridays, I'm going to try and mention our the ways we make money around here. We have a link down below to our Venmo account and PayPal if you want to contribute to this channel so that we can pay our kids to do it. Or we have a Patreon account where we're going to do an unlimited Q&A, and we have another perk where if you contribute, I think it's $10 a month, you get to decide what type of content we feature on our actual channel. So thank you so much to those people that are already contributing in those areas. It's really cool to be able to connect with the people who are, some people are like, what? No rules? Like, I'm not into that. I don't even want to think about that. Go away. And we're like, great, okay. But there's other people that are like, wow, this really I've never heard of something like this.
This is intriguing.
And this helps me be a better parent.
Maybe challenging.
We want to continue to be able to provide that type of content to you guys. And really we want to make it free of charge so that anyone, regardless of what financial state you're in, you can benefit from it.
Yum.
Oh, you ready to say it?
Yeah.
Okay, what are we going to do on Shabbat? We're going to watch a movie. Do you know what movie? Stranger Things, which I think is an absolute sucker's bet because I don't want to get into it. But I'm gonna watch it for everyone.
It's kind of scary.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then what are we eating tomorrow?
No.
Waffles.
Can you go? Yes.
Donuts.
It's donut day.
All right. We will see you guys on Monday. Until then, ready?
Ready?
Shabbat Shalom. Look, someone sent you this for safety second.
Wow, that's really nice.